Alrighty, hello. Another piece of camera. Reason I'm doing this is because I haven't done anything lately. The real world takes over, and I really have envy for people that can do, you know, on schedule videos and things like that to keep their channel going. Sadly, for me, you get just the scraps of time that I got left after paying for the real world bills and all the other stuff that goes on. So anyway, my book's out. I sold 60 copies of it, which isn't bad for just slinging it out there. So for those of you who bought it, thank you very much. And I'm still kind of fiddling with it and working. I've got a Grimdark one that I put out there, but it's a version 1. The only reason I put it out is, somebody asked me to, so I did. It's not terrible, but it's not finished yet. So I guess, why am I putting out a video now? Really, it's just, I got a couple of people ask me some questions, so I'm going to fold those into this video. And also, basically a statement for people that are still watching this channel, even though, said again, the real world takes over and you don't hear from me for forever sometimes. So appreciate you, the people that are still sticking with it and watching it. It's also good for me to sit in a room and talk to myself sometimes about things that I enjoy. So, moving forward, to answer a question that, a couple of people put it to me in a couple of different ways. Some people are like, some people don't like the idea of solo gaming, and that's pretty much all I do anymore, is solo wargaming. So, the answer to that is multifaceted. So when and some of the more aggressive statements about getting a life and solo wargaming is for losers, thank you for that. The thing is, when I was younger, I was a lot more competitive, and now I'm not. And I think the thing I enjoy about solo wargaming, on top of the other things that I will list after this, but I think the number one thing is that I don't have to worry about balance or the rules lawyers, or I can play a scenario where I know I'm not going to win it, or I know the opponent's not going to win it, but just have an outcome and kind of tell a story on the table. The narrative becomes, as I've got older, the narrative has become a lot more important than, points versus points, and, trying to get the best army and number crunching. All of that became just too tedious for me. And, I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying, as I got older, that was less and less the aspect of, trying to find the best way of using all the stuff. It's more of, as you read more and more history, a lot of the stuff gets thrown together from what they had, and battles aren't fair, and the whole point of being a good commander is to make sure that the battle isn't fair. Not for the other bugger anyway. So, I enjoy that aspect of it, telling the story. The other aspects, as I get older, I don't have time. And you get to a certain age where it's not just you haven't got the time, but your friends haven't got the time, and then families and what have you not. And then when I, as I started to get the time and I had a little bit of disposable income that I could get back into gaming, I ended up going solo and found, I enjoyed it. So for those of you wondering, solo gaming, I know a lot of people got into it during the pandemic. That's not how I got into it. I just naturally just fell into it, I think, just playing with some of the games I'd laying around and figuring out that, you can play some of the scenarios without an opponent. And then once you start doing it, it kind of gets, or at least for me, it kind of got addictive. So as and when I can. That in mind, so my World War II book is out, and I was formulating that a lot with Advanced Squad Leader, and then because I don't have a lot of time, I would speed that up using Minden Games retro rules, which, although they're rather good, I don't know, there's something not quite satisfying. So I played Bolt Action. I really love the draw the dice system that they have and things like that. So going forward, I think my next few videos are going to be what I'm going to do. The first thing is I don't have a lot of room. So as much as I love bolt action and 28mm for the painting, or Warhammer and the 28mm, all that kind of good stuff, because I got a printer, I do have the option to go in 15mm. So, but I'm not that keen on Flames of War. I mean, I don't hate it, but I don't know. And then again, I got to look for a system that plays quickly because I don't have a lot of time. I need to be able to play a few rounds quite quickly. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, because it is a thing, as I've discovered, the one-page rules, Grim Dark Future rules, I'm going to take those. They have World War II conversions. So I'm going to print myself some 15mm World War II stuff. Use the Grim Dark Future rules because they are very quick to play. Using the World War II armies and the conversions. And then on top of that, I think instead of unit go on one-page rules, I'm going to use the bolt action dice. And then I'm going to put together the scenarios from my World War II book, World War II Solo Solitaire Toolkit, and, play them through and use the enemy standing orders and all that good stuff to determine how, the enemy plays compared to everything else. So that's me moving forward. So I'm going to do, I'll probably do a short video on where I source my models, what models I'm printing, for those that are interested. Might get back into doing a couple more painting videos for the World War II stuff. Maybe some terrain, I don't know. And then, I guess that's me moving forward. The other thing I may do, because I've got the itch for, is in parallel, again, it just depends on a time thing. But I've got a copy of Dragonbane that I really like the system for. So I may look at defining a good solo system for playing that solo. Now, I've looked at a lot of solo RPG ones, and they're okay. I mean, it's really good if you're going to do like the journaling, tell a story stuff, which I don't mind. Obviously, I like in wargames, but the thing in wargames is there's a lot of dice rolling and a lot of conflict already built into it. In the storytelling ones, I don't know. I've yet to find a system that I really, really like, and I can feel myself as AI gets better, maybe going that route to see how good of a DM can AI be, and then using Dragonbane as the system that we use for that. So that's me moving forward, looking at what I might be doing. So. For those of you sticking with the channel, thank you very much. I appreciate it, and I wish I could spend more time doing these things because there's a ton of stuff out there that I'd really love to tear into. I just don't have the time. And usually my workshop back here is I can't, I don't get to play myself, so there's nothing to film anyway. This isn't going to get as many views. Well, that's the other thing. I was going to do a video on, I used to get tons of views whenever I was doing a negative thing. And that kind of got old. There's tons, I see a lot of YouTube channels out there that are very big, and every time I look at them, they're going off about this, that, or the other. What D&D's doing, and what Hasbro's doing to D&D, or what Games Workshop is doing. I guess really, I mean, the lesson to take away is the game's yours. When you buy a game, it's yours. Do what you want with it. The companies aren't your friend. Okay, that's the negative part of this video. Maybe it'll get some views. But anyway, enjoy your gaming and check back here and every now and then. I might be doing something nutcasey, or I might be doing something good. I might have a good idea. And for those of you that bought the book, thank you very much. For those that haven't, I can put another link down below because it helps pay for the resin. So have a good one.